Hello, I am Scary Sibs.
And I am Scary Bro.
And we are
the Scary Sibs.
Hello, mortals, and welcome to Scary Sibs.
Demons. Demons have been a universally feared and reviled monster across all different cultures and religions. Minions of Lucifer in Catholicism, to the monstrous Oni of Japanese culture, to the ravenous Wendigos of Native American folklore, have terrified mankind since the dawn of time.
Of course, like with all human fears, demons have left their impact on the film industry as well, giving us some of the most memorable, terrifying villains of all the horror genre. And we're going to discuss 10 of our favorites today.
Now, to be clear, we're talking about demons that mostly act of their own volition and don't rely primarily on possession, since we already covered many of those in our top 10 possession movies video a while back.
Yes, while these demons can possess people during the course of the film, it just can't be the main focus.
So sit back and enjoy our list of the top 10 demon horror films.
What are you waiting on?
Well, this is normally the part when something stupid happens or some dumb guest character shows up, so just, waiting for that to happen.
You're right. We've run across a lot of annoying demons in the past, kind of expecting one of them to show up. Well, maybe we got lucky today.
That'd be a first. Alright then, here are our top 10 demon horror films. Number 10, The Amityville...
Hey, what up, guys?
Gah! Darn it, so close.
Heard you were ranking demon movies, so we thought we'd sit in on it and junk.
Who are you two?
Don't you guys recognize us?
No, I just asked who you were because I recognized you. No, we don't freaking recognize you. And I think you give Sister a heart attack. You know how much skill it is to do that to a ghost?
Aw, come on, Scary Sibs, it's us. We, possessed you and junk?
Oh, wait. Are you saying you're...
The Pox Demons, yeah! Long time no see!
A very, very pleasant long time.
What do you two want?
Well, ever since you guys exorcised us, we thought we'd try haunting on our own terms, you know? Try our hand at haunting mortals without relying on possession. But we haven't had much luck. No one's, scared of us and junk. So we thought we could sit in on your review and maybe get a few pointers from some demons that did it better.
What do you think?
If it gets them to go away, why not? Maybe if they get inspired, they'll leave us alone.
Fine. But number one ground rule, do not try to possess us again. That exorcism was not pleasant. We got a deal?
Sure, we promise not to possess you and junk.
Number two ground rule, you stop saying and junk.
It's his thing now. Trying to get him to stop is a losing battle. Just trust me, just let it go.
Well, I can already tell the next 20-ish minutes are just going to be oodles of fun. About as much fun as a paper cut in the eyeball. Anyway, without further ado, here are our top 10 demon horror movies.
Number 10, The Amityville Horror. A family moves into a house that was the site of a gruesome crime years before, in which a man murdered his entire family, claiming voices told him to kill. As time progresses, strange things begin to happen, such as swarms of flies manifesting, the daughter getting a creepy imaginary friend named Jody, and the father, George, starting to lose his grip on his sanity. The family must piece together the truth behind the house's dark influence before history ends up repeating itself.
This film is a classic, but when watching it, it feels a bit all over the place. We have Jack Torrance vibes going on with the dad. We have the little girl talking to a ghost, a disturbed priest, a psychic yelling about a well. So many plot points that just ultimately don't go anywhere meaningful. I feel like if the movie had stuck to one angle, it would have been much stronger. Still, the fact that this film was based on a true story is horrifying. The acting was decent, and the dog didn't die, so all strong points. It just is one of those classic films that shows its age a bit.
This is a movie that had some good scares and a decent setup. The problem is, so many of the plot points they set up don't amount to much or really go anywhere. I think with a few script rewrites, this could have been one of the greats. As is, it's a watchable but very flawed haunted house movie.
Number 9, Pumpkinhead. In a small rural town, a man named Ed watches his son tragically die in a dirt bike accident when some teenagers from out of town start showing off and accidentally hit the boy. Grief-stricken, Ed sets out for revenge and goes to a local witch for help. She unleashes a demonic force known by locals as Pumpkinhead to hunt down and kill the youngsters. Now Ed, who, regretting his bloodlust, sets out to put a stop to Pumpkinhead and save the young people from his own wrath.
So, this movie had some high highs, but also some low lows. Pumpkinhead himself looks great. This was a time before CGI, and the practical effects on the creature are remarkable. I guess that can be attributed to the fact that this movie was directed by special effects legend Stan Winston, who, if you don't know, also designed the dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park and the xenomorph in Alien. Also, the witch and Ed are both wonderfully acted, the former giving this creepy sense of dread and menace, and the latter being a sympathetic, grieving father who, even through his desire for revenge, sees the wrong he did and works to fix it. However, the teens are completely nothing characters. They don't really have any distinct personality traits and are really just there to get killed. It's strange how arguably one of the antagonists provokes more deep emotion and the protagonists provoke absolutely no emotion.
This is a typical 80s style monster movie with good effects, a scary monster, and a few outstanding performances. We just felt like the other films on this list were stronger overall.
Number 8, Paranormal Activity. Young couple Mika and Katie document the, paranormal activity that begins manifesting after they move into their new home. Katie quickly makes the connection between the strange events and a malevolent entity that's been following her since childhood. While Katie wants to get help to rid herself of the demon, Mika wants to, stir it up so he can catch it on film, and his antagonism makes the demon more powerful. By the time the two finally decide to do the smart thing and be rid of the entity, it may already be too late.
So, I will be honest, I didn't like this film when it first came out. This was mainly due to the fact that it was overhyped and under-delivered, in my opinion. As I have matured as a horror lover, I do appreciate the film for what it is much more than I did previously. I still dislike the formula that most of the Paranormal Activity films follow. Nothing happens for an hour, and then everyone dies at the end. But I can see this first film's merit. This is one of those movies where if the events were personally happening to me, I would be terrified. But watching it happen on screen is still a bit dull. However, I will say the demon itself is relentless and violent, giving him a terrifying aura, even though we don't see him. I just wish we were clued in a bit more on his origins in this first film, as the bare bones approach here takes away from the scares a little.
As a movie that plays out more or less the way a real haunting would, it almost has the Blair Witch effect of being more scary due to minimalism, as you could easily believe that this was actual footage. Now, the sequels got over the top and just downright ridiculous. However, this first film's grounded nature helps keep it subtly creepy. I just wish Mika wasn't such a damn idiot. Most of this movie's events were entirely his fault. So, what do you think so far? These first three films giving you any ideas?
Meh. We tried pulling a Paranormal Activity once. It didn't really work out all that well. Okay, just sneak over there and slam the door shut. But I want to turn the light on and junk. No, we talked. We're door slamming demons, not light turning on demons. No, do what I said. Fine, look out. Hey, go around me. I can't see you. We're all non-core and junk. Hey, get off my... Off.
Could I at least, please, be haunted by some intelligent demons?
Oh, crap, we blew it. Run!
I don't even know how to respond to that.
Well, hey, in our defense...
Just don't. Just don't. Number 7, Insidious. A family moves into a new home, and soon their son, Dalton, starts having nightmares and begins acting strange. One morning, Dalton doesn't wake up, and doctors think that he is in a coma. However, we discover that he is actually astral projecting, and his soul is stuck in a nightmarish dimension called the Further. The family must do all they can to bring Dalton back to his body before his soul is lost forever and an evil force takes over his empty vessel.
So, this movie has a very original concept, using elements such as astral projection and the characters entering the realm of the dead. It is definitely very creative and frightening. Now, we've poked fun at the Darth Maul demon in the past, so we won't continue to pick at such low-hanging fruit. It is a bit of a silly design, I will admit, but the rest of the spirits are all very much nightmare fuel, especially the Bride in Black. Still gives me the creeps. This was an inventive take on the haunted house subgenre that brought a lot to the table in terms of scary scenes and eerie atmosphere, despite its rather lackluster main villain.
This movie has plenty of scares and certainly gets points for creativity. That old lady ghost is so scary, and the Tulip song gives me the creeps. I'm not a huge fan of the ending of the film, but I feel as though they make up for it in the later films.
Number 6, The Babadook. After her husband is tragically killed in a car accident, a woman named Amelia struggles to raise her son Sam, who frequently misbehaves and acts out. One night, Amelia reads Sam a mysterious book centered around a being known as the Babadook. Shortly afterwards, the pair starts to experience strange phenomena that Sam attributes to the Babadook, and with Amelia growing more and more agitated by her son, the seemingly real storybook monster may have an opportunity to gain a human vessel and destroy the struggling family.
This movie is interesting because there is no proof that the Babadook actually exists. We know Amelia and Sam both have mental health issues and trauma, so that leaves room for the Babadook to simply be a manifestation of their shared, fractured mental states. The ending was a bit of a letdown as it takes some of the bite out of the monster. And there weren't a ton of scares, but the theme of trauma and stress is terrifying and relatable. Whatever your opinion is on the Babadook's existence, Amelia and Sam are still victims, and we feel bad for them throughout the film.
This is a film that is unsettling, regardless of whether the Babadook is real or not. And I love how our main characters, especially Amelia, are sympathetic and three-dimensional. Sure, Sam is annoying in the first half, but even he earns my sympathy after the nightmares he goes through. I kinda wish we saw a little bit more of the actual Babadook, as we only get brief glimpses here and there, but otherwise, I really enjoyed this one.
Number 5, Drag Me to Hell. After denying an old woman an extension on her mortgage, loan officer Christine finds herself cursed by the old woman to be tormented for 3 days by a demon called the Lamia, before ultimately being dragged into hell for all eternity. Christine is forced to reflect upon herself and her decisions, and try to find a way to stop this curse and save her soul.
This movie was directed by Sam Raimi, the director of the original Evil Dead trilogy, and that vibe is all over this movie. Being PG-13 rated, it's definitely not as gory as those films, but this movie has the Evil Dead's manic energy that expertly combines scares with comedy. One thing I find interesting is that you're never quite sure whether Christine deserves her fate, and the movie goes back and forth with making her sympathetic and almost making you root against her. The ending may be polarizing and disappointing to some, but at the same time, the movie does tell you exactly what it's going to do, and then it doesn't.
This film is certainly not winning any serious horror awards, but for an entertaining horror comedy, it is impressive. The demon itself is relentless, and the old woman gave me the absolute creeps. The overall vibe here is humorous, but it also teaches a lesson about treating everyone with kindness, as you never know what kind of consequences it will have otherwise.
Number 4, Hellraiser. A depraved man named Frank buys a mysterious puzzle box from a merchant in Morocco who claims it will make his deepest desires come true. When Frank solves the box, it summons a group of demons known as the Cenobites, who promptly kill him and rip his body apart. Not long after, his brother and their family move into his old house and unwittingly resurrect Frank. His niece, Kirsty, is caught in the middle as the Cenobites approach her and bargain with her for the return of Frank. Though bargains made with demons seldom ever turn out well.
This movie has impressive practical effects, and the Cenobites, especially Pinhead, are terrifying. The premise is original, and I can see why it is such a beloved film. The downside is this movie focuses too much on Frank. He wasn't really all that scary. He was just gross and kind of annoying. Stepmother Julia was a wet blanket, and the only character I actually liked was Kirsten. The Cenobites weren't in the film nearly enough, and the ending was unusual. Still, the film is spooky and one that I definitely will watch again.
We love this film's over-the-top demon design and its creative practical and gore effects. We just wish the Cenobites were in it more, as they were far more interesting than Frank, both visually and conceptually.
Okay, guys. One of these movies had to have given you an idea. What about Pinhead? He seems to know what he's doing.
Actually, we briefly ran with a similar crew right before coming here, and yeah.
Please, what do you want with me?
You opened the box. We came.
Hey, we come from a box and junk. Small world.
Yes, right. Now, come with us, child, or we'll tear your soul apart.
Already did. So take that, mortal.
What are you talking about?
Look outside. We tore her soul apart and junk.
That's my car!
Oh. I was kind of wondering about that little figurine of you hanging from the mirror. So wondering what that was about.
I just paid that off! You idiot! I'm gonna kill you!
Whoa, hey, just calm down and junk. Yeah, anger's not good for your heart, bro. Just take deep breaths. Come on, deep breaths.
You know, I'm starting to see the problem here.
Yeah, the two of you aren't inexperienced. You're just stupid.
Hey, come on, that's not fair. It was an honest mistake. I mean, really, what kind of a demon drives a car?
Well, Actually, that's a good point. But still, it was a boneheaded move on your part.
We still have 3 movies left. Maybe they'll give you some inspiration.
I guess you're right. Oh, hey, on the subject of vehicles, we dinged one of those, moped things on our way in. Was that,
You what? Why, you red little...
Brother, you have insurance.
Right, I have insurance. It's fine. On with the remaining films. You red little...
Number 3, The Dark and the Wicked. This dark Southern Gothic film focuses on a brother and sister who travel to their family's farm to be with their ailing father in his final days. Their mother is visibly depressed and keeps stating that she wishes the brother and sister had not come. In a horrifying turn of events, their mother takes her own life, and the siblings discover that a sinister force is targeting their family, and they have no idea who or what they can trust.
This movie is dark. Well, hence the title, I suppose. But my point stands that there is almost no joy in this film whatsoever. No comedy relief or light reprieve from the melancholy that this movie bathes in. That's not always a bad thing, though, as that overwhelming sense of dread and foreboding leads to some truly chilling sequences and some excellent emotional performances from the main cast. I do kind of wish that we got a little bit more explanation for exactly where this demon came from. It's implied it just kind of showed up out of nowhere one day, and I was waiting for them to explain that, I don't know, maybe the mother summoned it or the house was built on cursed ground or something, but no, it's a completely random attack. Aside from that, though, this is a movie that would terrify you to your core, if you can handle its dour atmosphere, that is.
This movie is not what you want to watch if you're in the mood for a light-hearted scare. This is a deep and depressing, but effective horror film with heavy themes of grief, family, and trust.
Number 2, Sinis-durrr. A true crime writer named Ellison moves his family into a home that was the site of a murder to get some inspiration for his newest book. While looking around in the attic, he discovers a box of Super 8 films, one of which shows the graphic murder of the family that previously lived in the house. As Ellison watches each tape, he witnesses killing after killing, each more gruesome than the last. Investigating the nature of the tapes, he learns that this may not be the work of a human serial killer, but rather a malevolent entity named Bagul, who uses the videos to manifest in this world. Now Ellison must try to find a way to stop Bagul from adding his own family to his macabre filmography.
The acting in this film was wonderful all around, with Ethan Hawke being a highlight. The tapes are absolutely horrifying and stay stuck in your brain. This movie is very suspenseful, and the fact that the children are committing these crimes makes it all the more scary. Now, I personally do not love the ending, but that's more of a personal gripe than an actual criticism of the film. Also, I'm not too big a fan of Bagul's design. I think he looks like Heath Ledger's Joker at a goth party. Still, the disturbing tapes and creepy vibe make this a truly unsettling film to watch, even on repeated viewings.
This is a movie that had the potential to be a franchise. The sequel ruined those chances because it wasn't well received by fans. However, this first movie remains a horror staple for still being able to get under your skin in a very visceral way. I've always found old Super 8 films kind of creepy anyway, but this movie definitely ratcheted that up to a whole other level. Well, that Bagul character seems to have done alright for himself. Why don't you two clowns take a note from his book?
well,
Let me guess, you've already done something like that. Number 1. The Nun. After a nun dies at a convent in rural Romania, Vatican City officials send a priest and a nun in training to the convent to investigate, as they believe something sinister is going on. What they find is an evil presence that feels anything but holy has taken over the church. A demon named Valak is taking the shape of a nun and roaming the halls of the convent, searching for a human to occupy so they can escape and unleash terror upon the world.
Look, we know putting the nun at number 1 is a bit of a hot take, as not everyone liked this movie, but it's one of our favorites. Its gothic setting and haunting atmosphere remind me of a classic Universal film. Plus, I love how inventive this movie gets. It pulls off some truly creative scares and throws in a fun, almost treasure hunt subplot in the climax. Is it a bit silly? Sure, but I kind of like when horror movies have a little bit of weird fun to break up the darkness. And, of course, the nun herself is one of the scariest horror villains to come out of recent years, and she is definitely a threat to be reckoned with in this movie. Now, we do plan at some point to do a ranking of the Conjuring-verse films, and I can see this one placing pretty high.
Let's be honest. The real reason that this film is our top spot is the demon itself. Valak is absolute nightmare fuel. Always has been ever since its debut in The Conjuring 2. And in our minds, it cannot be topped by a scarier demon.
Wait, that's it! And Junk. Of course! We have to dress up as nuns and haunt a church. It's literally the perfect haunt.
Are you sure you haven't done this one yet?
Well, there was that one time we tried to haunt an old lady praying outside of a church, but she beat us away with her purse. Anyway, thanks, Scary Sibs. You've inspired us.
Yeah, they're going to louse that up so bad.
Oh, definitely. I have to say, they might be the most annoying guest characters we've ever had.
Well, not the most. There's always...
Woo!
Speaking of him, we got the invitation to his annual Christmas in July party.
Shall I do the usual RSVP?
I think that would be appropriate.
Very good then.
Well, there concludes our list of top 10 demon horror films. Do you agree or disagree with our picks? Let us know in the comments, and please like and subscribe.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Until then, I'm Scary Brew.
And I am Scary Sis, and we are
The Scary Sibs.